So then, how did you start working with Johnny To?
其實我同佢都係因為大家都係 TVB 啦，咁然之後因為我其實喺創作部嘅，喺 creative 嗰邊嘅，我喺 production 嗰邊啫。喺個上下咁長時間時，因為阿杜琪峰生喺 production 已經好出名嘅一個導演嚟嘅，一個 PD 嗰陣叫做。咁我喺編劇組裏邊算一個幾 OK 嘅，都唔錯嘅一個編劇啦。咁然之後嗰時因為 TVB 一間啱發展緊嘅公司咧，咁佢開創唔同嘅產品。咁譬如當佢想開創一個 television 嘅時候咧，佢就希望一定會揾一啲拍嘢最叻嘅人，創作最叻嘅人，咁就埋一齊。咁於是我哋會走埋一齊，開始拍一啲叫 television 嘅嘢。咁第一部嘅 TVB 嘅第一部 television 就我同佢一齊做。咁而家當 TVB 開始搞電影嘅時候咧，咁然之後公司就會安排，派最叻個杜琪峰啦，同寫劇本 OK 嗰個人咧，韋家輝就走埋去一齊做一個劇本。嗰時一套咧叫做《愛的世界》，咁開始就係我同佢嘅合作。
So no, I know Johnny too. We both started in TVB. He was a few years older than me, but he was a lot more experienced, and he was well known at the time as being a director already. But I was a screenwriter, and he was a director. So what happens in TVB was that sometimes whenever they try to launch a new telefeature or go into a new direction, launch a new product, they will put somebody, from the screenwriting department with somebody on the production, and that's actually how we came together and start working on a few projects. And eventually, when TVB decided to launch their own film, they thought of the same thing. Why don't we pick somebody? Well, why don't we pick a great director, Johnny To, and an okay screenwriter like myself?
Okay screenwriter.
So, what was the first feature film you guys did?
It was the World of Love.
但係我唔知英文點解唔係。
But the interpreter just butchered the. It's not like that.
Lao Ching Wang? No butcher.
Lao Chong Yan.
It's not Lao Chong Yan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's another Lao Chong Yan, who's also very famous. He was the dad of Lao Ching Wan in The Grill of Man, for those of you who remember.
So I guess in 1996 you guys founded Milky Way. And I guess the first question is why?
Actually, Johnny left to join the movie world before I did. I was still in TVB when he already became a film director, and actually did quite well. A lot of his movies were doing pretty well, and so he invited me to join him in forming Milky Way. But at the time, I thought it was pretty risky.
New company.
No, it wasn't company. It was just a new company. This idea, but at the time, I had built up a lot of my own resources at TVB, so I wasn't too sure at the time.
直到一日就係有個人叫張潤發先生啦，佢話聽影好想揾我一齊合作一部電影，揾我出嚟做導演。咁佢諗到叫和平飯店咧，我就出咗去電影圈。出去電影圈之後拍完和平飯店之後咧，阿杜琪峰先生就話聽，喂，你已經出咗嚟電影圈咯，不如一齊搞公司啦。咁就開始咗呢叫佢。
Until one day, this guy you all know, Cho Ren-fat, came to me and said, I want to work on a movie with you. And so that turned into the eventual famous Peace Hotel. And then after that, Johnny To said, well, look, you're already in the movie business. Why don't you just work with me from now on?
And actually, yeah, I don't want to skip Peace Hotel. It was the first movie you ever directed. It was Chow Yun-fat's last movie in Hong Kong at the time. Was it fun?
係，其實好開心啊，拍得好開心嘅。亦都咁啊，學咗好多嘢。
It was fun. I learned a lot.
In a good way?
其實有啲好嘢，因為最後出嚟，因為我哋拍緊時候，張潤發應該喺香港係最紅嘅一個明星嚟嘅。咁然之後我拍完之後咧，同年咧，張潤發先拍咗另一套嘅叫《賭神2》咧。咁見到《賭神2》出嚟嗰個賣座咧，就比 P 數之後咧係 double 嘅。咁啊對我講咧，其實第一部去到電影圈咧，其實拍一個超級紅嘅明星，但係佢做嘅票房唔係最成功，因為佢輸咗俾《賭神2》啦。對我講係一個好好嘅學習機會就係，你一出嚟就受到一個挫折。
Of course, I learned a lot of good things, and one of them was Joe. In fact, at the time, as you may remember, he was the most popular movie star in Hong Kong. And so for me, it was a good experience working with him. But unfortunately, the box office did not do as well as his very next movie, which is the second edition of the God of Gamble, the Ace. And so for me, that was I come in, I join movie, and the very first time I did it, it was a little setback.
即係我諗對我講就係你可以話俾你聽，即係其實因為我電視一路好順利啫。 出去電影圈嘅時候，你會知道電影呢個學問係好深好大。
And so, as you know, I mentioned before, for me, my career was very smooth in TV. But, I go into, the movie business. This is what happened. So, I realized, it's a very complex discipline.
So 2 years after Peace Hotel, you directed Too Many Ways to Be Number One.
Thank you.
Which it deserves. But you went from making Peace Hotel, which is a very traditional-looking Hong Kong movie, big budget, glossy, with Chow Yun-fat, and then you go to make Too Many Ways to Be Number One with Lau Cheng-wan, Choi Kam-kong, all these guys. Very different-looking movie. So why did you make Too Many Ways to Be Number One, and why did you go for this aggressive style?
其實因為和平飯店俾我想種失望嘅，咁我知道，但嗰時因為仲好後生，咁我就開始有啲唔係好憤氣。然之後眼見其實嗰陣時有好多叫古惑仔系列嘅電影喺香港好賣座，然之後我又唔係好同意你嗰個世界啲幾歌頌一啲黑社會、一啲低下層嘅社會一啲嘢嗰啲嘢，我唔係好同意。於是我有少啲，因為嗰時年青就會比較諗嘢比較反叛啲。我係咪可以拍一套戲完全唔係咁嘅咧？或者違反咗一啲傳統港產片講古仔嘅方法，所以要唔同嘅嘢。咁係因為太年青同埋太唔憤氣啦，所以要拍一部咁嘅戲。
Back then I was really young, and because of Peace Hotel did not do as well as I wanted to, there was something I wanted to do for my very next movie. And at the time, during in this period in Hong Kong, a lot of very popular movies were the ones that portray the gangsters or the triads, as you may remember the triad series. And I wanted to do something different. I want to experiment something different that tells a different story, tells a story in a different way, and hence Too Many Ways to Be Number One.
Was Johnny To watching what you were doing as you directed Too Many Ways to Be Number One?
佢有佢咪實揼住，因為佢一路都由頭到尾佢都好信任我啦。咁然之後曾經出過一啲劇本，然之後睇翻我拍嘅 footage 咧，佢嗰時都好鼓勵我。我覺得佢一個好大好處。如果當你信任一啲人嘅時候，你做咩嘢咧，佢都好鼓勵你。
He was looking. He cares about what I do, but he had a lot of trust in me, and that was something that was very fortunate. He had a lot of trust in me that whatever I do, I had the freedom to kind of go my own ways.